Oh, look at it. She bought that. Period.
What's the craziest conspiracy theory you think about, but you wouldn't tell nobody?
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You got one type there? Craziest conspiracy theory. Pizzagate. They all did that shit. They got the island. Yeah. Bill Gates. Goddamn. The first lady. Goddamn the Trump. Yeah. All of them. They tapped in.
Hey, Mike, what's your worst breakup story?
My worst breakup story? I caught him in bed cheating and I whooped that.
Oh, man. That's sad now. That's sad. All right, next question. What's heavier, a pound of pillows or a pound of pennies?
A pound of pennies.
Pound of pennies. This is the last one.
He can't even say it. He's getting dialed.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Yo, welcome to the New Normal Podcast. Today, we have a great topic to talk about. Before we get started, y'all make sure y'all like the page, y'all follow the page, y'all make sure y'all share the page. We will be talking about Mel Tucker being fired from MSU of sexual misconduct. We're going to be talking about the South Dakota woman who made fake allegations or false rape claims because she cheated on her husband in Florida. So she called the police, act like she pulled over on the side of the road. Don't this sound familiar? She pulled over on the side of the road. Somebody raped her, but she was trying to get free STD testing. And we're going to discuss what feederism is. A new term I heard, never heard it before, seen it today. So we're going to get into the show. Y'all make sure y'all like the page. Y'all follow the channel. Y'all subscribe to the page and all of that. Make sure y'all share it. I got a good story, good show for y'all today. I feel actually pretty good today. I don't know. I'm in a good mood. Everything has been going according to plan. I haven't been streaming a lot lately, but I said I was going to take a little break, but now I'm back. And I'm going to tell y'all guys, I love y'all if y'all watching this. So, Mel Tucker, coach of the Michigan State football team, got fired for messing with the lady by the name of Brenda Tracy. It was dumb on his part to mess with this woman, and I'm going to tell you guys why. But first, let's watch this.
This afternoon on such short. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on such short notice. I'm here to provide an update on an active and ongoing investigation. Before I share that update, it's important to know that I'm limited in the information I can share and the questions I can answer because this is an investigation is still ongoing. Upon receiving the reports from the claimant regarding Mel Tucker, MSU's Office of Civil Rights immediately commenced a review of subsequent investigation per university protocol using an outside third-party investigator. I was aware of the report in late December. The external investigator concluded their review and submitted their investigative report on July 25th with the recommendation for a formal hearing, which will occur the week of October 5th. The university's objective has been and remains focused on conducting a fair, thorough, and unbiased investigation and allowing the processes to play out. This includes protecting confidentiality of the claimant and putting in place interim measures. The university's formal conclusion of the investigation will occur once the hearing and final decision processes are complete. I want to emphasize again, this investigation is not complete. Interim measures are something that are constantly evaluated throughout the process based on developments that may have a potential impact on the ongoing investigation. As there have been new developments before the hearing and with the best interests of everyone, including student athletes and the university community in mind, I have suspended Mel Tucker without pay as an additional interim measure. While the investigation continues, I made this decision with the support of university leadership.
So, guys, this story is crazy because this guy was messing with a woman named Brenda Tracy. We're going to read and talk about who Brenda Tracy is. This was done on this man's part. This was, I think, the second or maybe the highest paid coach in college football. Is between him and Nick Saban. But this man was going to make nearly $10 million a year. $10 million a year. This was so difficult for this man to do, I guess. Andre, he got fired for being stupid. Exactly, Andre. Shout out to Andre. That's my OG though. But yeah, he definitely got fired for being stupid. And it was a point to where this is all he had to do. It was a big decision for him, and he had went back and forth and back and forth. And it put me in the mind of this right here. That was Mel Turner, and he chose the wrong decision, just like Baby Joker. When you choose wrong, you lose wrong. It seemed like when men get the bag, they fumble it to get some ass. And I don't know why that is. You have to know when you reach a certain financial status and position in society, you got to know, especially in 2023 and beyond, as a man, you are a mark. It is very, very, very iffy and a sticky situation to mess with any woman, let alone a woman without any NDAs, any video recording, any of that. Right. And the extent of what this woman is alleging, there's no crimes being alleged, just misconduct, which is very fucking weird to me that you will fire somebody over something like this, over allegations of them talking on the phone, right? So let me read to y'all what's going on. It says suspended Michigan State head football coach Mel Turner admittedly denied claims that he sexually harassed Brenda Tracy, a sexual assault awareness speaker. Red flag number one for not dealing with Brenda Tracy. She's a sexual assault awareness speaker. In a statement Monday, and called upon hearing about the claim a sham. Tucker, in a statement issued Monday through his attorney, Jennifer Belleville, said he developed an intimate adult relationship with Tracy, and her claims that he harassed her completely false. He said in an upcoming hearing to assess whether he violated university policy is ridiculously flawed and not designed to arrive to the truth. So if y'all don't know, he's not even allowed to the hearing. Michigan State Athletic Director Alan Heller suspended Tucker without pay Sunday night after details of the claims against the coach were made public in a story written by USA Today. Tracy, who operates a nonprofit company that tries to raise awareness against sexual misconduct, especially among college athletes, told university investigators that Tucker sent her gifts, asked if she would date him if he wasn't married, and masturbated while on the phone with her without her consent, according to details reported by USA Today on Sunday. While I'm saddened by Miss Tracy's disclosure of the sensitive nature of this call, let me be perfectly clear. It was entirely mutual. Private events between two adults living at the opposite ends of the country. Tucker's statement reads, she initiated the discussion that night. She sent me provocative pictures of the two of us together, suggested that we may look like with our clothes, and never once during the 36 minutes did she object to any manner, much less hang up the phone. Because you would think if you don't like what's going on, you would just hang up the phone, right? It is getting crazy out here that we can't even talk on the phone with women. And you are $100 million nigga at this point, and you want to tell me you want to talk to the sexual awareness speaker? No, sir. You are dumb for doing this. And then when I read the story, I was like, maybe he didn't know this was this lady's profession. But come to find out, They were paying her to come to speak at the school to talk to the college kids about sexual misconduct. So you knew this lady was the speaker and a survivor of sexual misconduct. You know what's crazy about this? Women will give up their vagina based on your title in society. He's the head football coach at Michigan State. So she knows he's getting them M's. And if y'all don't believe me, just think about when your ladies go on brunch dates with their friends and they tell them, oh, you know, I got a new boyfriend. I'm talking to this new dude. The first thing they ask is, what does he do? Because they're trying to see where does he fit in society on the grand scheme of things, if he a big dog or not, or a Rudy Poo ass nigga. So this is weird to see that this is going on, and Mel Turner thought this was a bright and wise idea to do, let alone being a married man with children. I was listening to the extent of his contract while I was watching Anton earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. It was today or yesterday. And I'm like, this is stupid. But I heard about this going on before I actually watched Anton by another guy on TikTok. And I'm like, why in the world would any man think that it would be cool to be out here cheating on your wife and putting yourself in a position? And I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand. And when you get certain amounts of money as a man, you want to try out some new vagina. I get it, because when us as men, we don't get a lot of money and be like, there is one woman I want to settle down with. Nobody, no man does that. And then it gets to the point where so a lot of men should not be getting married before they get money, because, like I said, his true colors will arise when he gets money and lets you know how he feels about you and himself. A lot of times, a lot of women are placeholders in a man's life. You know, they just do the traditional. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to have kids. Woo. But then when you get that money, it puts you in a different bracket, puts you in a different lifestyle, puts you in a different room full of people. It puts you around different vaginas. So much so we can act like, everyday Becky or Susie walking down the street is going to have the same type of vagina, sex drive, or knowledge as the woman that's around men who's making hundreds of millions of dollars. That would be crazy to think of. That's like you saying, this Toyota drives the same as this Corvette, or this Corvette drives the same as this Lamborghini, or this Lamborghini drives the same as this Bugatti. It's levels to all of this that is going on when it comes to this money. However, we talk about dick discipline. And I know it's a lot of guys want to question what dick discipline is nowadays, but pretty much dick discipline should be anything that does not result in you being a casualty of your penis. So this is Mel Tucker's casualty of his penis, because he wants to go out here and talk to the woman who's the sexual awareness speaker, which is wild. I'm gonna read some more. It says, hours later, Tracy posted a response on social media referring to the acronyms DARVO that stand for Deny, Attack, and Reverse Victim and Offender. Oh my God, she got a acronym. This is just more of the same Darvo, deflection, victim blaming, and lies that I've been dealing with for months now. Coach Tucker has been delaying and trying to stop the investigation process since the beginning. He can't afford to go through the hearing that determines credibility of the participating parties. She wrote on X, formerly Twitter, I believe this statement is a way of getting out of participating in the hearing. October 5th and 6th will be present. I'll be present for the hearing and make myself available for cross-examination by his attorney, Jennifer Belleville. I invite him to do the same. It says Heller said he and other university officials have known about the claims since last December, when Terry filed a formal complaint on the school's officer Office of Civil Rights. He said an independent investigator who was hired by the school interviewed both parties and submitted a report in late July, recommending that the school hold a hearing to determine whether Tucker violated the university's sexual misconduct policy. The hearing scheduled to begin October 5th. Now, if y'all don't know, MSU has been under a lot of scrutiny from back in the day because they had a lot of sexual misconduct stuff come up. And I'm going to play what I'm talking about so you guys can see it. If y'all don't know who I'm talking about Larry Nessler. And we're going to watch this real quick. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. If my computer catch up, it want to act slow.
They want to protect the integrity of the programs, don't want scandal, don't want sexual assault allegations or domestic violence allegations.
Lauren Allsweed worked for 7 years as a sexual assault counselor at Michigan State, starting in 2008. She has never spoken publicly about what went on in the athletic department until now. She handled hundreds of cases at Michigan State and says she noticed a disturbing trend.
Most of the times when it involved athletes, that would be dealt with in-house. None of it was transparent. It was very insulated, and people were a lot of times discouraged from seeking resources outside of the athletic department.
Why do you think that was happening?
I think that the athletic department wanted to keep control over that information.
So tell me about some of the cases you had involving student athletes as alleged perpetrators.
There were several cases throughout the years, and one was in 2010 involving a couple basketball players.
Those players were Michigan State freshman Keith Appling and Adrian Payne. No charges were filed in their case, but the Department of Education later investigated how the school handled the report. But Appling and Payne were not the only members of the Michigan State basketball team accused of violence against women in 2010. Outside the Lines has uncovered 2 other reports. The first incident involved former star guard Travis Walton. In 2009, he captained Tom Izzo's team to the Final Four. The next year, 2010, he joined Izzo on the bench as a student assistant coach. According to police, in January of that year, Walton punched a female student in the face. Ashley Thompson and her friends were at this bar when Walton approached her table.
He started speaking with us, and I was like, I'm sorry, can you...
So, I'm guessing this is supposed to be about sexual assault. That's what I thought. Now, I don't know. They got in disagreement. She might have got drunk. They was at a bar. I'm pretty sure they got videotape. Now, I'm speaking. I did not watch this, so I don't know. But it's weird that they were talking about sexual assault, but him punching her in the face.
Just give us a moment. And he was like, you don't know who I am. And I was like, I really don't care who you are. And he kind of got angry at that point, and I told him to not so politely F off. He instantly got mad. I mean, I barely got the words out of my mouth, and he came across and he struck me.
So you were combative, and we just supposed to take your word that this man just punched you in the face because you said F off. This reminds me of the brick lady now. Remember the brick lady that's going viral right now? The brick lady said a man punched her, threw a brick at her for a denial of her phone number. And it's coming out to be more and more prevalent that that was a lie.
In the right side of my face. I kind of reached back toward him, and I didn't make contact. And then that's when he swung with the second reach and hit me on the left side of my face, and hit me so hard that it knocked me backwards off of my bar stool.
Ashley reported the incident to police, and according to medical records, twice went to the hospital, where she was diagnosed with a concussion. Walton was charged with assault and battery.
Travis Looking like a young coach in waiting, actually.
Despite the pending criminal charges, Tom Izzo allowed Walton to continue coaching during the 2010 season. Walton was also by Izzo's side when the Spartans made it to the Final Four in April.
The case was still going on, and I would see him on the sidelines on TV going about life like it was no big deal. And I assumed at the time that Tom Izzo and Michigan State Athletics knew about it.
Shortly after, Walton struck a plea deal and the assault case was dismissed. In exchange, he pleaded guilty to an unrelated littering offense. Then, later that summer,
wow, littering offense. Like, so I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Sometimes you connect to the right people, you can get off on a lot of these things, which is not fair. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying you should be able to, but being connected and plugged in something like this with Tom Izzo, a famous coach like this, yeah, you find an uphill battle, which is sad to say, but you got to pick your battles wisely. She should have, just got her brothers or her uncles or somebody just go beat his ass at the school and break his legs. But that's what I would have did instead of, eye for eye. That's what I believe.
another woman came forward with an additional accusation against Travis Walton. Outside the Lines obtained an internal letter to Michigan State administrators referencing a reported gang rape, naming Walton and 2 players. The letter notes that Izzo's boss, athletic director Mark Hollis, had direct knowledge of the report. According to the letter, the female student reported her incident to the athletic department after she heard that the same 3 men had attempted a similar assault on another student. Hollis told the victim's parents that he would conduct his own investigation. He spoke with the coaching staff, and an athletic staffer told the victim and her mother the incident was discussed with the basketball team. None of the players were reprimanded in any way.
Was that handled by anyone outside of the athletic department?
No, it wasn't reported to police. The woman did not go to the hospital for medical care. It was only reported to the athletic department.
And see, this is why it's hard to believe sexual assault victims or rape victims, because they don't go into the proper channels to make sure that it can be proven that you were actually raped. And I'm gonna be honest with you, rape is such a vicious thing to have on you as a person or a man, anybody, that it would be hard for me as a man to just believe a man just did that to you if you didn't go through the proper channels. Especially now in 2023 and beyond, there is no reason for a woman to not know the proper protocol to go about coming forward to put her victims behind bars, or shed light so nobody else can have that happen to them. Excuse me. The reason that I don't like that is because it's always a dog pile when it comes to these situations. It's like, yeah, he did it to me too, and then another girl be like, he did it to me, and then another girl be like, he did it to me, and then another girl be like, he did it to me, and it's like, none of y'all have rape, kids done to you, bruising, black eyes, photos. Like, y'all didn't make these claims until another girl came out. So you mean to tell me you were the first girl in 1998, and then another girl came out in 2002, and another girl came out in 2008, another girl came out in 2010, another girl came out in 2015. So y'all are all letting a rapist run the street so it can do that to another person, which is unfair. And that's why I'm gonna be honest with you. These claims, and when you hear about them, they get more and more and more unbelievable, which is sad because there's a lot of women out here that I do believe are actually rape victims. I'm not saying that these women are, but when you have rape victims, you need to come forward and go through the proper chain. As soon as somebody rapes you, you need to go to the police department, need to file a claim, need to go and get your, your kid done, need to make sure they can find any bruising, take pictures, get any DNA, where, place, time, maybe go get them. Maybe they can, round them up and get your DNA off of them. You can't wait 10 years and then we're supposed to believe that you were raped 10 years ago by this person when there's no evidence whatsoever. It's just your word against his word. How do we not know that you're not a scorned lover trying to come back and get some get back on this person and be like, well, he treated me like this, so I'm gonna say he raped me too? Because we know we live in a time that says believe all women, or we have the Me Too movement, which is so unfair to men. And men need to wake up and understand that there is an assault with men, and how they take men down for the most part is use sexual allegations.
Didn't go to judicial affairs, didn't go to student affairs, didn't go to anybody outside of athletics.
Nope.
And see, y'all want them to do all of this stuff, but what about the women that were supposedly raped? Y'all want them, these guys, after they hear these claims, to do all of these external investigations and send it to other people outside of the organization. But what about the women? I'm just supposed to take your word that you did X, Y, that this man did X, Y, and Z to you, and I'm just supposed to fire him, drag his name through the mud, but you don't even have any rape kits, no photos, no police reports, no nothing. I'm just supposed to take your word. That's going to be hard for anybody to do. And if anybody just jumps at the sound of you saying something happened to you, they will be a fool too, because that's why we have a justice system.
We spoke to Travis Walton on the phone, and he agreed to let us record the call. We asked him about the assault and battery charge in January of 2010.
What do you remember about that incident?
She got upset, I guess, and she said that I pushed her or I hit her, and I said that the false accusations, that never happened.
You never hit her?
No, not at all.
She had some bruises on her face after that. Do you know how that would have happened?
Yeah, I don't know at all. If I would have punched her, it would have been way bigger. They would have seen it would have been way worse.
We also asked him about the 2010 reported rape.
A female student had accused you and 2 other players of sexually assaulting her in April 2010.
What?
Do you recall that at all?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Mark Hollis was made aware of this. I wanted to know what you recall from that incident.
I don't recall anything from that. Wow.
Our requests for interviews with numerous school officials for the story, including Tom Izzo and athletic director Mark Hollis, were denied. We asked a school spokesman why Walton was allowed to coach with pending criminal charges, and if Mark Hollis reported the alleged gang rape to proper.
Do you know, if you do a crime, if you have a pending crime at pretty much any other job, they don't fire you. Like you could literally be like, go out there, hit somebody, and get charged and be let out and be waiting on like a vehicular manslaughter and still keep your everyday regular job, especially if you got a lot of vacation days. They're not gonna fire you over that. But it seems like certain positions, that when people are on TV and getting the spotlight and the notoriety, now it seems like we gotta fire you, or you can't be seen, or you can't be on TV, you can't be seen like you're living your best life. It's weird.
For Title IX staffers at the school. To which the spokesman responded in part, Michigan State University is committed to cultivating a safe campus community that is free from sexual violence. We acknowledge, however, that we have sometimes fallen short of our goal and the expectations of others.
When there's multiple reports against specific programs, that needs to be followed up on, that needs to be addressed. It's not a coincidence.
And it's also not a coincidence that, I'm gonna say this, it's also not a coincidence that you have these reports being filed on these young men, and they are athletes with a high ceiling and high earning potential. I would see if it was like, MSUs have these strings of, sexual misconducts, and it's just, Brad that's in, psychology class, or it's Luke in, basket weaving. But it's always seemed like if you're going to make these claims, it seems like the women have to go for the gusto to make it seem as if men are just predators. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it's always the basketball player or the football player or somebody on the lacrosse team. It's just y'all never make a big deal out of plain Jane Brad who's going to, engineering class and wears the glasses. Like, you always got to make the claim or the rape allegations against the guys that are the big dogs on the campus, right? And I'm not saying this, I'm gonna say this again. I'm not saying this to discredit the women. I'm just saying it's a reoccurring thing, like she said. And I think a lot of times the reason these claims don't get reported when it comes to sexual misconduct of basketball players is because they know how the women are after these basketball players and these football players and these guys on the baseball team. They know how these women are. They know these women out here popping that cootie pop and trying to get these men this pussy. They know that. They know it's college. You got drinking, you got parties, you win a game. It's especially at the MSU, you got a white girl waiting around the corner already on her knees ready to suck some Peter Walker. She ready. She turned up. Oh, you won a game? Oh yeah, I'm gonna suck that nigga dick. Let's not act like this is not a thing when we talking about these college campuses. Let's not act like when we talking about when people are talking about somebody this woman had a threesome, or these guys, gang raped her. You know what I'm saying? I seen some of the most wildest stuff in college, right? For instance, I remember I'm not going to say the fraternity name, but I was at a fraternity party, right? And at this fraternity party, they had a big projector, and they rolled down a projector and they started playing this video. And it was all of these guys running a train on this chick, right? And you can hear the audio, you can see it, and everybody's partying like it's nothing. I'm like, wow, they really just in the living room playing this, video of them running this train, this white girl. And it was a black fraternity, the white girl. And so the white girl in the video, she says, I want him too. I want him too. And then the dude just go over there and start having sex with her. And she's, jacking one off and taking one in the booty and taking one in the coochie. I'm like, this is really going on right now. She's not telling them to stop. She's going along with it. And good thing that these guys recorded it, because ain't no telling what could have happened with this situation. I hate that we try to act like college campuses is not where women go to live their best life and be sexually liberated and sexually free. And if rape was so bad on college campuses, a lot of parents would not allow their children. They will not allow their children to go to school where they can't keep an eye on them. If it was so bad, if it was happening so prevalent. This is a scary thing to be a athlete and you have consensual sex with a woman, and you just are young, wild, and free, and you don't give her what she wants. She wants you to be her new beau. And you don't want to do that. And now that you kicked her to the side, she feels slighted, and now she has to play get back. Did y'all see that viral video of that girl that said she called CPS on her ex-boyfriend because she was mad at him, but she was lying about it, and they were just joking and playing about it like this was cool? Trust me. What's funny too, when it comes to rape is a serious topic when it comes to women, right? But when people talk about rape when it comes to men, it's always a joke. For one thing that's a joke, when they bring up rape, they always say, when men go to prison, what they say? Don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap. That is a joke, a running joke. For as long as I can remember when I was a kid, that don't drop the soap was a joke referring to men getting raped in prison. But when it comes to women, we have to act like, oh my God, no. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, on one end, it's a joke. On the other end, it's not a joke. It's a crazy world we live in. Y'all make sure y'all like the video if you're watching. It's a crazy world we live in. Crazy, crazy world. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this Mel Tucker situation. I want to say, I just think he's stupid for doing this. I think the optics is very bad. I think the person you decided to mess with is bad. And I want to say this. I think this is just me. This is just being honest. I think that a lot of men, wives, would actually be cool with them sleeping with other women if they were just honest. And what that does is, if your wife is there, it kind of helps you and protects you, because now you don't have to be faced with the social stigma you cheat on your wife, because a lot of times women do that because they feel like they get one up and ruin your family. But if you say, hey babe, I need you to, introduce yourself to the woman and say, whoop the whoop, I consent to y'all having sex, so it's not cheating or whatnot, the woman might be even more less likely to come out and say, you raped her, or with the stigma that you're a cheater on your wife and your family because your wife consented to you having sex with her. That's just my opinion. I think more women would go for it. They understand you $100 million. Like I said, Mel Tucker would have been $100 million man, flying private jets, a lifetime worth of tickets. Like I said, I don't understand why so many men give away the lifestyle they work for when it comes to vagina. That's the quickest way to overthrow a man with his legacy, is putting like rape allegations on him. You just out here taking women's vagina, that cootie pop. That is so sad. The next thing we're going to talk about the South Dakota woman. We're going to talk about the South Dakota woman who was made a false accusation. And said that she was raped.
WeatherTight windows only install PGT custom windows.
I would be an ad. Hey, y'all let me know how y'all doing out there.
This woman from South Dakota traveled to Tampa Bay to cheat on her husband, but wound up facing criminal charges. That's because Renee Skoglund filed a false police report while she was here, and you won't believe what she claimed in that report and why she did it. Fox 13's Gloria Gomez shows us how her trail of lies landed her in front of a judge.
Do you have any questions? Your Honor, if we could request from the court.
South Dakota resident Renee Skoglund is far from home and in legal hot water that even surprised the judge.
This is really unbelievable.
Skoglund's trail of lies started on March 8th of 2023, when she decided to come to Tampa Bay and cheat on her husband.
That she had had consensual sexual intercourse with an individual while in Hillsborough County, that she felt guilty about this due to her marital status, and she wanted to get checked for a sexual transmitted.
This is something they don't talk about a lot. It's how a lot of married women have sexual remorse after they cheat on their husbands. And they're terrified that their husbands are going to find out that they cheated. And because this sounds like this might have been her first time actually cheating. And so she's acting erratic with her behavior and don't know how to do it, because we know women are emotional. And if you claim you love your husband and this just did something as drastic as cheating on him, you don't know what to do. Your emotions are all over the place. And it shows by this woman acting as if she was raped. To even make this claim and you are married, just go back home and you can get a simple STD test without having to go through all of the bull crap of calling the police and pretending that you were raped.
Diseases.
But she wanted to get tested for free, so she decided to lie again and called 911.
I was just raped.
I'm sorry?
I was just raped.
Okay, how long ago did this happen?
Maybe like 45 minutes ago.
Coughlin made up a story.
And this is another reason I don't never trust a woman crying. I don't care what she doing. If she crying, I believe her less and less, because it seems like it's an emotional manipulation tool that women have. And I understand it, because it's like you got to pull on somebody's heartstrings, because let's say me and you get into it as a woman, you a woman, I'm a man, you're going to try to use what you can far as, to tip the scales in your favor. So you're going to go the emotional route, because you can't whip my ass. So when they use this crying and you want people to feel sympathy for you, as soon as I see a bitch turn on that water, I don't feel no type of way about it.
About having car trouble on Interstate 75 and pulling over on the side of the road.
An unknown male approached her, put a towel over her head, and forced her into the back seat of her car.
He put rope on my hands and my feet.
Because her face was covered, she couldn't describe her attacker, but her story started to unravel when police checked her cell phone and found this Walmart surveillance video of Coughlin buying the rope herself.
How dumb do you have to be to go and actually buy the damn rope that you're going to say that people use to kidnap you? This is like Juicy Smollett. This is another Juicy Smollett type of deal. And we gotta stop acting like women don't lie when it comes to these rape allegations. We gotta stop it. That believe all women stuff, we gotta throw that out of the window. Women lie. Women lie a lot. It's part of their survival mechanism. It's how they get along, get by in life. Women lie when they put on a whole new face, eyelashes, nails, hair, go get their body did, waist shapers, form-fitting stuff to make themselves look different than what they actually look like. And then when they transform into the person that they want to be, they get a new attitude to go along with it. We have to stop acting like women don't lie about certain stuff, like the brick lady getting hit with a brick. She's lying. She wants attention. She wants to hustle and scam people out of money. Carly Russell, we don't even know. We still don't know why she did, but everybody's saying because she was trying to get attention from her boyfriend. These things are ever prevalent and present in our society, and we have to stop acting like women don't lie. The sad part about all of these lies that go on is that the actual victims will suffer because of this.
She confessed to making the whole thing up. She was charged with making a false police report and decided to take a plea deal.
I never sentenced anybody for perjury, but it's a good reminder to everybody that perjury is a crime, and all of the stuff that you made up and the resources expended on it could have been used and probably needed to be used by other cases that were real.
Coughlin will now serve 2 years of community control and 8 years of probation. And she will also have to repay the Hillsborough Sheriff's Office over $17,000 to investigate her fake rape claim. Gloria Gomez, Fox 13 News.
Wild. As part of her agreement, Coughlin will also have to undergo a mental health evaluation.
Because she definitely got to be crazy. I don't think she's that crazy. I just think she didn't know what to do with all her emotions that were running wild that she cheated on her husband. I think that's what it was. And she dumb.
Okay,
She
class.
could have got a
Falling windows plus
coulda got a,
installation equals.
STD.
Our PGT custom windows and doors are
I wouldn't
hurricane
doubt it.
strong. Now that's our lesson.
She said an unknown male approached her, put a towel over her head, and forced her into the backseat
Impaled
of her
by
car.
a stingray.
What?
Yeah, you heard that right. An Apollo Beach woman is sharing her incredible
Oakland
story
then
after
claimed
she
her
says
attacker used
a
rope to
stingray
tie her hands
punctured
and feet
her
and
in the
sexually
back.
assaulted her.
Fox
She
13's
told
Eric
investigators her
Placencia is live in the
recovery.
newsroom for
She
us
wasn't
tonight.
able to describe her attack.
Errol, when you look at
Her
these
story
pictures, I
started
mean,
to
really, this
unravel
woman
when
is
police
lucky to
checked
be
her cell
alive.
phone and
She
found
really
Walmart
is, Allie.
surveillance
Christy
videos of
O'Brien said
Oakland
she'd later
behind the
learned
rope
that the
of her
Stingray's
cell.
barb
She
just
cracked
missed
under
her
the
lung by
pressure
mere
and
centimeters.
successfully
So
the whole
she's
thing
still in
up.
the
She
hospital
was
and
charged
expects
with
to
making
be
a
there at
false
least a week
police
so
report
doctors
and
can monitor
decided
her for infection.
to
But thankfully,
heal.
she is alive. Now, might find the following photos a little disturbing.
Y'all,
incredibly sore.
Christy O'Brien and her husband had just gotten lunch at Little Harbor in Ruskin Tuesday. Wanting to get
this
her
is
hair
really,
wet,
really
she waded
sad.
into
And we
needy
have
water
women out
and
here
leaned back.
making up
When I
false
went to stand up, he
rape
like literally put his
allegations
hand up and
that
he's
they're
like, "Do
cheating
not
on your
move,
husband.
like don't move at all."
She knew she had been stung by
False
something,
rape
but
allegations.
never would have guessed
Women
what
are
it
out here
was.
cheating
Stingray
on
was
their
still
husband.
attached to me,
This
and
is
it was alive.
The
crazy.
pictures are tough to look at.
I was trying to stay as calm as I could,
Y'all
but I
make
was
sure y'all like
certain that I was
the
going to
video
die.
right now.
Because I mean,
Make
like
sure y'all
everyone
like
has like this picture of Steve Irwin.
Let's
Paramedics
go.
freed O'Brien by cutting the
So,
stingray at the
next
base of
thing we're
its
gonna
tail
talk
with
about that we
shears.
gotta
Her husband told her the stingray had visible
is
injuries and looked
Feederism.
like it
I've
maybe had been
never heard this
disemboweled.
term ever in my life.
Beachgoers
But
believe they might have seen the
here's
injured
the thing.
stingray that got O'Brien
hold on, let me
earlier
go
in the
to it.
day.
I saw something pink in the water.
Early Tuesday morning.
It is a thing. I think it's supposed to be something like sexual. Well, I know it's something sexual, but we're gonna watch how we get to feederism, right? So let's play this video right here.
I was his second victim.
Share
His
my
first was another
screen.
family member, not in my family. And his mother, real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like she's a really terrible human being. She's been estranged from our
So,
family since about that time. That
I'll
was my
play
mom's
this.
attempt to try to help this child because he was 12 when I was 6.
Wow,
And
okay.
I mean, hi, my name is Rosie, and I was groomed into feederism. And it's a long story. So I guess I'll start with childhood. I was born into a Mormon family. I was raised Mormon. I left the church when I was 18. When I was 18, we can get to that in a minute. But when I was a lot younger, we lived in Michigan. Like that's where I was born, and essentially I was molested when I was 6 years old, and that's kind of the foundation of what ended up turning into my CPTSD, which is basically the same thing as PTSD but complex. So there's some more added symptoms to it, and it's generally towards people who either have like extreme early childhood trauma, most commonly sexual trauma, and there's just some like additional nuances to that.
6 years old. 6 years old. This is sad. And I'm starting to see that on both sides, white, black, it don't even matter the race at this point. Being molested as a kid, it seems like that's the introduction to most children or most people. It's how they get introduced with sex.
That kind of PTSD wherein you basically had like a lifetime of trauma that's accumulated. And so he lived with us for 6 months, and ultimately he ended up getting kicked out when my mom like walked in on him on top of me, I guess. Not fun nor fresh. However,
Have y'all noticed it's a reoccurring thing? Excuse me. It's a reoccurring thing. Single mothers open the door for these predators to come in to do this with their children. If a mother brings a man to their household and he molests or rapes her child and she knows and does nothing, she should be charged with accessory to the crime. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor for saying that.
basically, I didn't really tell anybody the extent of what happened because what was witnessed was kind of benign compared to what he actually did. And then when I was 23, he actually got arrested on a Fed bust. He got arrested for creating and producing child pornography off of a Nintendo DS. I don't know if that detail was actually in the news. They just said it was like a handheld device. My mom told me it was a Nintendo DS. And the girl was 7 and I was 6. I think I was his second victim. His first was another family member, not in my family. And his mother real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like she's a really terrible human being. She's been estranged from our family since about that time. That was my mom's attempt to try to help this child because he was 12 when I was 6.
Wow,
And
okay.
I mean, so, because that's the bottom line is like, yeah, he was traumatized too. He went through that kind of abuse at the hands of people that she let into his life. But, he turned into a monster and I turned into whatever the hell I am, which is not a monster, but sometimes a shit show. And so, school and life growing up was really hard. I call myself self-determined autistic at this point. I'm actually scheduled to be diagnosed in November, so it's coming up. But and I mentioned like I'm diagnosed ADHD, diagnosed PTSD, and recently finally got the proper confirmation of my MDD diagnosis, so like major depressive disorder, because I was misdiagnosed at 16 as bipolar.
Golly, you hear all these diagnoses. We got to stop this too when it comes to being obese and talking about not body shaming. A lot of these people who get molested and raped at a young age, when you watch My 600-Pound Life, they always say they just kept eating and eating and eating because it was comfort food. And they knew that if they kept eating and eating and eating, nobody would find them attractive. And I know. Y'all gonna say, well, everybody on My 600-Pound Lifestyle has somebody, has a boyfriend or they're married. Duh. Bitch, I can't walk. I can't get out the bed. Who else gonna bring me my plate? I can't stand there and cook no food. I can't drive no car. I'm too big to fit in the car. So of course I got me somebody, but they ain't having sex. They ain't fucking. They ain't doing nothing. Hell, the bitch can't even get up out the bed, so you already know she got to find her some dummy to come in and take care of her and bring her food. But do y'all ever notice this? When the woman starts losing weight and starts moving and more mobile, the man feels a certain type of way because she's depending on him less. And both of those people have some type of mental disorder. So much so that if she loses too much weight and depends on him less than he needs for his emotional tank to be filled up, he's going to leave that relationship. Cold world, there's a lot of sick people out here.
Wow. So were you on medicines for that?
At times. So I think my body always could tell like a lot of these medicines didn't work for me. And I'll get to this in a minute because like a lot of my journey I've been documenting as of recently on my YouTube. Quirky Love Rose.
Don't worry, we'll link you.
No,
it'll be down there.
Just had to, crack a joke there. But no, but yeah, and I'll get to that because actually that username means a lot to me, and that ties back into more like the gang stalking off of Reddit and the trauma from back in 2013, 2015 that I experienced online. Because I didn't use that username for a long time. I used to go by Fat Rose Phoenix because the Phoenix has a lot of symbolism for me in my life. And so, but anyway, what were we talking about? What was I talking about? Oh, the MDD.
Yes.
And the bipolar medication.
See, you got it.
Yeah, I try. So, yeah, basically I was, given these different medications when I was younger, and I never was able to stay on them long term until like my early 20s. And I had some success for about a year, but they had me on this medication for many years. I got on it when it was like a drug trial. It was called Saffris. And it was like an under the tongue
tablet.
Yeah, but it was just like it's like I think it might have been an antipsychotic.
Okay.
Which I never needed an antipsychotic, fun fact. Because when you have like a special combination of like being autistic, ADHD, and traumatized, you can come off like you're manic. You can come off like you're experiencing mania, but you're not. You're having trauma responses through neurodivergency. And like there's not enough conversation about that. I feel like in the past couple of years, there's finally conversations happening about it because I didn't even know about this stuff until the past few years and doing it.
You know what's crazy is the brain is so complex that we still don't know enough about it to understand the complexities of it, to know why people have manic depression and bipolar, and sometimes chemical imbalances, and how they perceive trauma, and what side of the brain reacts to this side of the brain, and what triggers this, and the electrodes, and all of that stuff. Like, the brain is so complex and we know so little about it. And she's talking about we finally having a conversation about it, and you're diagnosed with all of this. So much so that you said you were misdiagnosed earlier. So that should let you know already that if you were misdiagnosed, it's still a lot going on inside of you that they probably have not diagnosed properly.
Ton of independent research, reading different research journals and everything, just trying to understand myself better. And because I've done a lot of therapy in my life, and like EMDR I did for several years, done a lot of DBT skills, CBT skills, individual therapy, talk therapy, art therapy, music therapy. And yeah, so anyway, and that's all started at the age of 10. Okay. So like I was bullied a lot in school. My high school experience was weird because when I went into freshman year, I went to a brand new high school. So I was the first freshman class to be in the building. There was a freshman class and a sophomore class. And when they were freshmen, they had to be freshmen in a middle school. So like It was a really weird situation. And in middle school and high school, I was relentlessly bullied, and to the point of like not pretty much everybody knew who I was, but it wasn't for like a good reason. Yeah. It was like I was the butt of every fat joke. There was maybe only one other kid there who was even like remotely as big as I was. Because I was molested, and at the age of 6, I started gaining weight at the age of 7 because I didn't remember the event of like my mom walking in on anything, because what she walked into was just like the beginnings of something. So they didn't have a full understanding of what he had actually done to me in that time. And I didn't tell anybody until I was like 16, and I told a friend, and then I didn't tell my parents or a therapist until I was 18. Okay. And so pretty much my entire childhood was literally and metaphorically shoveling everything that I could. And I was a Mormon. I wasn't out going doing drugs, so I was eating, right? And by the time I was 9, I had a really extreme depression, but that was back when kids couldn't be depressed. Right. Kids can be depressed. And I think we know that now, more or less. And I think there's a lot more grace given to that, at least in like standard society. I know there's lots of.
This is gonna sound crazy, but I think kids can be depressed, and I'm starting to understand that so many people probably are depressed even from an early age because of the lifestyles that they live and what people and parents do, to children. That's why I think a lot of these kids are depressed. You see a lot of these young boys growing up, they come up fat, they come up sloppy, they don't have any like masculine structures about them. And you see this a lot going on when it comes to children. You look girls, they fast, they very promiscuous at an early age, and they doing all this stuff. It's because the exposure to sex so early and what it can do and traumatize to the brain, right? And we all of us pretty much understand what flowering age means. It's pretty much when a woman, gets her cycle, when she starts bleeding, right? And that pretty much indicates that she's able, not meaning she should be, but she's able to have children at this moment in time. And so since she's able to have children at this moment in time, she's prepared she could potentially be prepared to have sex. But the thing is, this woman says she was having sex, or this guy molested her and raped her at 6 years old. You're not even close to that time of your flowering age. So yes, I can understand if something traumatic like that happens to you, you would definitely be depressed.
Of like different cultures that may still struggle on those topics for sure.
And it's sad too, because there's no age, and especially too when you've gone through something, it's like as a child, you might try to block that out and not really necessarily remember details, but it's there. And
It's always
everything that
there.
happens in life, I always say everything that happens, both good and bad, have an impact. 100%.
It's about the
Yep.
experience. You know, there can be 40-year-olds that couldn't even begin to imagine what a 7-year-old has experienced.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's the missing nuance we had for so long in regards to mental health. And I think it stems back to a lot about how children end up getting treated like property so often, or like extensions of selves of parents, instead of as individual tiny humans that have individual tiny needs and that get very mighty when the world places expectations on them they never should have had to begin with.
Right.
And so, you know, and my home life was really unstable. So I took a lot of solace in the church. And, you know, I'll say to my parents' credit, they have done something that most people of my generation don't get to experience, and that's go to therapy as like boomers, and like take accountability. And
This woman is just a ball of emotions. And the reason that I wanted to play with this, I'm a guess. As a matter of fact, let's look it up. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do. Real quick. Because I want to know the actual definition of feederism. Feederism. Gainers and feedies are people who enjoy the fantasy of or reality of gaining weight themselves. Encouragers and feeders enjoy the fantasy of helping someone else gain weight. And I think this is when you see those people, those big women on like the webcam, and those people are telling them to eat more, eat more, eat more, and they're putting like the burgers on their belly and eating like whole cakes, and you're seeing this woman gain weight. Like, it's people out there that are mentally ill and mentally sick, and they want to see these type of things go on. So the lady, oh, thank you, Jazz. So the lady that I was just playing, like she said, she started eating around 6 years old. And like I tell y'all, we got to start acting like being big, that big, doesn't come with some type of depression, some type of anxiety, some type of PTSD, some type of childhood trauma, because a lot of people find comfort in eating like that. And like I said once before, a lot of these times when you watch like my 600-pound lifestyle, they all have the same story. They were touched or raped or molested as a kid, and they start eating so nobody will find them attractive. So we in the society now that's trying to tell us that big bitches is attractive, and when we know that it's not. And a lot of these women, they big as hell because they had the same thing and the same trauma that happened to a lot of those people on my 600-pound lifestyle, which is a scary thing of us not trying to really diagnose the problem. Like, a lot of people say, you know, you need to work out, you need to eat correct, you need to go to the gym, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to get on this keto diet, this, they always got some fix for something, instead of actually talking about the mental aspect of why you need to be working out, or why you need to lose weight, or why you've gained weight. People are sick in our society. And like I said, when I seen this come up about feederism, and it was just a random thing that came up on my feed on Facebook. And my Facebook has actually gotten worse. Facebook is becoming like the pits. And the reason I say that, because it's nothing but ads on Facebook now. Like, I used to be able to stroll Facebook and then see good stuff, but now it's like ad here, ad there. Because I was wondering why I keep seeing Krishan Rock, and then Zeus ad come up, and then Krishan Rock, and then another place showing Blueface. I'm like, I don't follow these pages. They're definitely putting it in my face. But this is just my tangent. Facebook is just not what it used to be. Facebook started off as something where you keep a tight knit or a close knit on the people that went to school with it in your community. So y'all all was on Facebook, and that's how you knew each other. Other platforms is not so much. It's worldwide. But Facebook was typically about the people that you knew, and now it's not like that. It's just ads here, ads there. Even when you get on the shorts, at the bottom of the shorts, they got ads at the bottom of the shorts. So they just programming us to buy shit, and they trying to make money. And I understand we the cash cow, so it's understandable. You got to run a business, but like I said, I wish I could just find a way just to block all ads on my Facebook and see more other people that I want to see too, because it's people that post. I'll see them post something today, and then like I won't see them post nothing for 3 weeks, and I go on their page, and it's like, no, this person posts like every day, but I haven't seen a post till like 3 weeks later. Why is this? You know what I'm saying? And I go look at the post to make sure it's like not a private or um make sure it's a public post, but it's an actual public post. And YouTube just finds a way to, I mean, Facebook finds a way to put in our face what we want to see it or we don't want to see it. Weird. But back to all of the rape and the feederism and the false allegations and stuff like that. We have a real problem in our society when it comes to sex, what turns us on sexually, and the mental anguish that a lot of people are going through. It's so many people that are hurting, so many people that are screaming out for help. Like being a big bitch and you can't walk through the door. Like you got to turn sideways to walk through the door. That is you screaming for help and nobody's coming to help you. But when you watch my 600-pound lifestyle, people are still bringing you food. And Facebook definitely does this on purpose because they purposely don't allow you to see posts from everyone on your timeline. Exactly. Yeah, Facebook is definitely not what it used to be. It definitely isn't. I think a lot of these platforms are probably gonna go down. If it's all about the bottom line and your dollar and stuff like that, it's gonna be hard for any like new Facebook or new platform to grow. I do like Rumble, but Rumble have a lot of kinks to work out. And I said I'm gonna start posting over there when I figure out how to go live. Even how to set up to go live and the stream keys. I don't actually like that part because on StreamYard, all you gotta do is log into your account and then you just stream. But now you got to do the login key, the key stream, and all that bullshit that I don't like to deal with. But when I figure it out, hopefully I ain't got to do that every time I go live. Hopefully once you do it and put it in there, it's in there. But like I was saying, this society, we're sex crazed. I always feel weird starting a new platform. Yeah, me too. Because you're so used to doing and got used to doing it in the way it looks on certain platforms. Like Rumble is a weird looking platform. First of all, it's green. Like it's green and like a darkish blue. That's already a weird looking color scheme. It stands out, but it's weird how they do it. Like Rumble has changed a lot because when they were first on there, I would get on the app. They had some token type shit on it. I don't know. It was weird. Now it's actually looking like a real platform. You could tell they're actually investing and doing things to make it better. Right now, TikTok is running the game, but I don't like TikTok for the simple fact that TikTok is doing this thing where all of my views they have me capped. I don't care what it is or what I do different. They have me capped at like 300 views. I don't give a fuck what I put out, how I do it different, what songs I put on there, whatever. I'm gonna be capped out at 300, maybe 4, but they definitely gonna cap me out. And so much so that I know that a lot of those people that they send my shit to are like bots because I had like 907, then I look back and then be 895. I'm like, that many people lost. Then I see people that's random. They have like random numbers on their account. They don't have no picture, but it's a number that be like started following you. I'm like, what's going on here? Yeah, TikTok. I like TikTok, but like I said, but then another thing I don't like about TikTok, it is a super racist platform. Like it's probably the most racist platform I think I've ever been on. And they let the black women go on there and say and do whatever the fuck they want to do on there. Same for me. All my TikTok videos cap out at the same number. What they really want you to do, they just want you to pay to get over that 1,000. Because typically, when you start going live, that's when I start seeing people get money, ask for donations, and build a following up if you go live constantly on TikTok. But it's hard. Like I said, TikTok, they definitely make it a struggle. Now, I think if you got on TikTok early in like close to its inception, it would be easy to build. But now they trying to make it difficult, because like I said, TikTok is so in your face. As soon as you open the app as a video, you scroll all day, you get to see stuff. And now they're making different like little tabs at the top that I see. So it's pretty cool how they do. I do actually like TikTok, their platform. I just don't like a lot of the live streams that I see and what they geared in my live stream and shit like that, because I see a lot of racist shit going on. And then the white people, they be perpetuating a lot of the racist shit too. And I ain't even talking about like they saying they the supreme. They talking like that white guilt shit. I don't trust no white person that trying to act like they people is the worst people ever. Oh my God, my people did so much to y'all, and black people need so much help. Like, God damn, bitch, I'm not useless. I'm not helpless out here. Shit. I don't know how I feel about it, because it feel like there's so many white people that's doing those live streams. What can we do to make it better? How can we end racism? Bitch, you just on here to get a check and get some views at this point. I don't trust nothing that no white person do. I feel like the white people that I trust ever, and I've always gotten along with, is white people that don't bring up race at all. We ain't got to talk about race. They like they don't see race. Like, even if it's some racist shit go on, they don't even want to address it, because they just I feel like they understand, as a white person, no matter what side of the aisle I lean on, that I could be potentially called racist. That's not a good idea for me to be called to be saying anything about racism. But on TikTok, I see it all the time. Then another part of TikTok that I don't like, I guess this is my TikTok rant. Another part of TikTok that I don't like is that black women are always making live screens about how black men ain't protected them, especially when it came to this brick lady. And then earlier in the thing was by Carly Russell. Black men don't protect, black men don't protect. And I say this all the time. Black women need to understand the difference between a protector and a savior. And that is the issue that black women will always run into. A protector is someone that tells you something to keep you from something. A savior is someone that saves you out of that situation while it's going on. Those are two different things. And that's why it's going to be an issue for a lot of black women when it comes to understanding what protection looks like. And I understand a lot of black women ain't had their daddy in their life. I get it. But a protector is someone say, hey, baby, you might not need to wear that dress, because, rapists look for easier to cut things. And if you wear that dress, it's easy access for them to fuck you. But you tell a black woman, like a black woman was having a conversation about this on TikTok the other day. She's like, you can't stop a man. If he's going to rape you, he's going to rape you. Bitch. I wish I was had my thigh on, because I would have got on. I said, bitch, listen. If a man wants to rape somebody, of course he's going to rape somebody, right? That's his proclivity. That's what he likes. But that doesn't mean that he's going to rape you if you take the proper protocols to make him second guess or deter him from doing so. It's the same way as locking your door. It's a lot different than a motherfucker being able to just turn a knob and walk in, than a motherfucker being able to having to kick your door down or find other entryways into your house. Maybe by then, after they look, you done got your gun, or you done got the dog, or you done got called 911 and have the police on the way. But when you try to talk common sense into people, they don't want to listen, because a lot of motherfuckers is slow. And we in this no judgment society. She said, if a man want to rape, he gonna rape. And I agree, but that don't mean he gonna rape you because you got on jeans. That would be very difficult for a man to rip off jeans, take you out your jeans. That'll be so difficult. Then you wearing that little short ass skirt with no drawers on. I'm just saying that's just common sense. You got this short skirt on with no underwear on, or you got these thick ass jeans on that he gotta unbutton and zip down, and they thick so he can't cut through them, because they say if you look at the thing, you could Google this. They ask rapists what they look for, and the number 2 thing is clothes that can easily be cut off, and they keep scissors with them to cut the clothing off of you. So maybe not wearing a thong, maybe wearing like, them big ass granny panties might save you. Might be a little bit more to cut through. Who knows? I'm just saying this is things that they say. Wearing a ponytail, not paying attention to your surroundings. If you're by yourself, fumbling through your purse. They have a whole list. It's like 20 or 30 things that they look for before they decide to rape somebody. So if you understand this, it's called a deterrent. And this is what men be trying to tell you. That's what a protector is. Now, a savior is someone that comes in and knocks the nigga out after he's trying to rape you. I'm not doing that. If I see a lady getting hit with a brick, like he mid throw, and I could run and tackle her out the way from getting hit side of the face with the brick, I'm still not doing it. Like, I'm not here to protect. I'm not here to be your savior. I'm here to protect you. And I'm going to protect my lady, not every woman that I encounter, because every woman doesn't deserve protection and every woman doesn't deserve a savior. You should really only be a savior to your children, because they're children. They're going to bump their heads. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to do something. They're going to be rebellious. They're going to have to go through the pitfalls of life. So those people, I think your children should really be the only people that you should be trying to save. You should be their protector and savior. Other than that, no. You shouldn't. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff going on in our society that is sickening, that's ingrained in us. And I want to say this before I get out of here. Ladies, black women, y'all need to take back y'all image. It's getting to the point where, and the dude said this in a viral clip, and I think it came out last year. He said, we can't tell the good girls between the bad girls because y'all standing so close to each other. I don't want to see a woman say, I'm a good girl, but I listen to Sexy Red. I don't want to hear a woman say, I'm a good girl, but I got the tattoos, I dress, I act, I got the mannerisms, I talk like, I go to the same places as the bad girls. How do I know you're a good girl? What is separating you to do so? Don't tell me you the good girl and you doing the same thing as the bad one, because now y'all look the same to me. Diamonds and cubic zirconias shine the same in the light. But a lot of women don't understand that. That's why y'all say, oh, you should just live your best life. Like, even with the abortion topic, right? I hear a lot of women say, well, I would never get an abortion, but she a woman. She should do what she want to do. You know why a lot of women say that? Is because they always still want to be able to have that fail safe, just in case they get pregnant by a nigga they ain't supposed to get pregnant by. Because if you say, I'm against it, I don't want it, then that takes your Hail Mary away if they decide to take it off, do away with abortion. But women are never going to, well, the government, I think, finna start reining women in. They're going to have to. If they really care about us, they're going to have to start reining women in, like even Tennessee talking about DNA tests before signing birth certificates. Like, women should be held, like the single mother shit that go on when they invite these men to their houses and they rape their children, and the woman doesn't want to do anything because, like I said, she want to be able to rub her cold feet on somebody at night and fight over who's going to sleep in the wet spot. So she allows this man to enter her bedroom and her child's bedroom. She should be held as accessory to a crime. We don't want to hear you crying and acting like you so hurt and all this other stuff. We don't want to hear that. But I'm about to get up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all like the video, share the video. It's the New Normal Podcast, and we gone.